So I just wanted to provide an overview on the major drivers of commitment. So we had our first one, which was intrinsic motivation of individuals. Our second one was looking at trust and respect of the leader. The third one was looking at the overall culture of the organization. And then our fourth one was looking at initiatives taken by the organization and how these major drivers affect commitment of individuals. Now, in the next part, we're going to move into commitment versus compliance and just 10 major points to be made about this one. So, if employees perform out of compliance rather than commitment, they do it because they are told to, not because they want to. Compliant employees only do what they are told. Managers who believe in a compliant philosophy would have to enjoy giving orders and hope that employees enjoy taking orders. But I find few managers enjoy giving orders, and even fewer employees enjoy taking them. Compliant, order taking workers are like animatronic robots that simply go through the pre programmed motions. They are not sentient beings who think and act for themselves. Compliant workers seldom, if ever, take initiative. They rarely are creative and almost never think outside the box. Compliant workers dutifully do what they are told to do, nothing more and nothing less. Committed employees, on the other hand, seem to see what needs to be done and they do it no matter what it takes because they are committed. They think about their work and come up with a new way to achieve results better, cheaper, and faster. Our second point. If non-thinking employees need managers to think for them, which is the case of orders have to be given, then the employees can only act when the manager is around to give them orders. Managers who seek compliant rather than committed workers shouldn't be surprised when their employees go out of compliance when the manager is not around. If external pressure rather than internal commitment is the driving force behind the employee's behavior, then the manager must be present to keep the pressure on the employee in order to ensure their compliance. Committed employees, on the other hand, keep the pressure on themselves, even when the manager is not around, because they are internally motivated to do so. Committed employees don't wait for orders. They see what needs to be done and they take initiative out of the intrinsic need to do so. The third point. If managers only need compliance from their employee, there is no need for them to create a productive work environment or a quality work life. If employee compliance is all that a manager wants, then all a manager must do to motivate people is either reward workers well or punish them severely to ensure their compliance. Reward and punishment are the only managerial practices that will have any effect on employee compliance. Compliant workers require either a carrot or a stick to keep them moving. Committed employees, however, require neither of these, external stimuli to keep them going. Rewarding and punishing employees is a very small part of what manager does. The primary role of a manager is to provide a supportive work environment where employees could excel if they wanted to. Managers who fail to provide a supportive work environment often limit the output of their employees by their neglect. A manager can get a whole lot more from one's employee by being supportive than by offering workers a carrot or a stick. Point number 4. Employees who are not committed to something, who toil merely out of compliance, have to fake the behaviors they exhibit at work. Managers who force their employees to comply with customer service standards of friendliness will find customers are seldom fooled by pseudo customer service. Customers can sense if someone truly believes or feels something within them. People can tell whether someone is genuine in their service or merely complying to keep one's job. Those who serve out of compliance do so unwillingly. Point number 5. It is difficult to be positive and enthusiastic about something for which one does not feel or believe. Employees who are not committed to customer service, who only serve because they have to, will find it extremely difficult to fake being positive or enthusiastic towards the customers. Fakers seldom are as convincing as those who are genuine. Point number 6. Employees can't fake it forever. If it isn't in them, it isn't in them. Eventually, they will tire of the act and end it. Compliant workers can never stick with bogus behaviors for the long haul. Only committed workers. Those who have it within them can maintain the proper attitude and behaviors over time. Eventually, the compliant workers will tire the facade and stop performing at the expected level. The best employees are those who get it in their head, their heart, and in their gut. Workers who understand and agree with the business imperative, not just those who equate to it. When people get it in their head, heart, and gut, right actions invariably and naturally follow. They do the right things because it is natural for them to do so. Point number 7. When a person is committed to something in his head or her head, heart, and gut, certain behaviors and actions naturally flow. When the worker's actions do not come from the head, heart, and gut, but rather from unnatural compliance, employees must constantly and consciously think about their actions. They must try to figure out how to act since the right actions are not natural to them. Compliant employees are behaving unnaturally throughout the workday, which can be very difficult and extremely stressful. Workers who must work hard, just trying to figure out how to act, spend less time actually working. Committed workers, working from their hearts, do that which comes easily and naturally. They do the right thing because the right things are naturally right to them. Point number 8. People cannot motivate others if they are not motivated themselves. Employees cannot convert others if they are not converted themselves. Therefore, compliant employees cannot have a positive influence performance-wise on other employees in any sincere or significant way. Compliant workers seldom are cheerleaders for the company or organization. Compliant workers rarely seek to help others, tending to focus only on their own minimum level of compliance. Compliant individuals rarely try to raise the productive output of the group. Committed employees, however, on the other hand, out of their own intrinsic enthusiasm, invariably try to convert others to their positive way of thinking. Committed employees typically seek to better themselves and those around them. Committed employees raise their performance because they want to perform well, and they want others to perform equally well too. Committed employees strive to improve themselves and others. Point 9. It is difficult to have trust, respect, or confidence in someone who only complies out of a requirement to do so. Since compliance is an act, it is an act of hypocrisy. Compliant workers are not honest. They are not true to their own feelings and beliefs. They are acting out of compliance, not out of sincerity. Since they are not true to themselves and therefore not honest, they cannot be trusted or respected. And since they cannot be trusted or respected, they cannot be supported. This is the real reason why compliance-seeking managers tend to harbor the belief that employees cannot be trusted. It is also why these same managers are often accused of and actually guilty of not being supportive of their workers. Our last and final point. Any manager who is interested only in compliance of his or her employees rather than their commitment obviously does not fully understand one's role as a manager. A manager's role is to improve the productive output of his or her employees by increasing the value and worth of their accomplishments. True value and true worth are achieved when employees reach their fullest potential. An employee's potential is often far beyond the maximum level of compliance with a manager's dictated job requirements. Compliant workers rarely go beyond the performance expectations set by their manager, while committed employees often astonish management with their ability to far exceed the manager's expectation. So these are just some of the 10 points and some of the behaviors between committed and compliant individuals within the organization, and things just to be aware of and how this impacts when we looked at the conflict pyramid, a distressed versus a healthy system.